reading aloud to you The Whisker City Air Race, Miso and Kili's Flying Adventures. Written by J.M. Chrismer and art by Ilya Fortuna. Every year, Whisker City buzzes with excitement. Why? It's time for the Whisker City Air Race. This isn't just any race. It starts in Whisker City, speeds over the wavy Catfish Ocean, zips across the Golden Paw Desert, weaves around Panther's Tail Jungle, zooms through the Yarn Ball Rolling Hills, and finally, the finish line awaits on the other side of Whisker City. The prize? A shiny, huge trophy and enough kitty treats to last a whole year. This year, Miso and Kili have entered the race and are so excited because the big day has finally arrived. The race this year is especially exciting because their friends have joined in the race, too. All of the racers were eagerly awaiting this moment and had already lined up their planes at the starting line. As the sun rose on the morning of the race, anticipation was in the air like a whiff of catnip. In Lane 2, Miso and Kili meticulously inspected their shiny red airplane, ensuring that every nut, bolt, and whisker was in perfect harmony. In Lane 3, the cheeky alley cats grinned from ear to ear. Their plane was sleek and silver, covered in switches and buttons that made it do all kinds of fun tricks. Every time they pressed a button, the crowd would, "Ooh!" and "Ah!" Next, in Lane 4, were the island cats. Their plane looked just like a summer day at the beach. It even had tiny surfboards attached to the side. Lane 5 was chilly and cool. The Gelato Kitty team, wrapped in fluffy fur, had an airplane that looked like a snowy sled. It had skis instead of wheels and left a trail of snowflakes behind. Poised in Lane 6, the Pima Skycats proudly showed off their jet. It was elegant, shiny, and looked faster than a shooting star. Their plane is always a crowd pleaser because it leaves a trail of rainbow colors when it speeds by. But then there was a drum roll. Everyone's eyes turned to Lane 1. There, the reigning champions taxied into position. It was the Whisker City Flyers. Their plane was gold with black stripes, and its propellers spun with a shimmering glow. They were the ones to beat. The race was about to begin, and the heartbeats of all the kitties in Whisker City raced faster than ever. Who would be the winner this year? The famous racer Captain Whisker stepped up to start the race. Everyone hushed, looking at him with wide eyes. He was wise and well respected in Whisker City. "All right, kitties," Whisker said. "Here are the rules. First, we'll give each racer a map that shows the beginning route." He explained that they'd first fly over the Catfish Ocean, then the Golden Paw Desert. "There is a small oasis in the desert, and that is where the racers will land for the halfway checkpoint. Remember," he added, "everyone must stop at the checkpoint halfway to fill up their planes with fuel." He handed out maps to the pilots. "After the checkpoint, you'll get another map so you can finish the race. You'll fly through the Panther Tail Jungle and over Yarn Ball Rolling Hills. And then the first one to reach the other side of Whisker City wins." The pilots eagerly and swiftly entered their airplanes. Miso and Kili gave each other a quick but determined look, their eyes shining with hope. The crowd went super quiet. Captain Muetzer raised a big checkered flag. "Get your engines purrin'," he called out. The air was filled with the buzzing sound of plane engines. With a big smile, Captain Muetzer cheered. "May the best pilots win." He waved the flag and whoosh! The big race started. Miso and Kili, in their shiny red plane, were off to a great start. They felt the cool morning air on their whiskers and saw the sun peeking over the horizon with shimmering reflections on the ocean waves. It was an amazing way to start the race and the day. As the racers flew over the glimmering ocean, they saw spectators in boats waving and cheering for their favorite planes. The pilots were filled with motivation seeing their fans down below waving and cheering them on. After some smooth ocean flying, the racers began to approach the Golden Paw Desert. They saw endless dunes of sand faintly shaped like cat paws when viewed from high up in the sky. There were also a small number of tornadoes swirling the sand below. "I sure am glad we're safe way up here in the sky away from those tornadoes," Keely mentioned to Miso. "Yeah, it looks like they're just mini tornadoes, but I'll fly us a little higher just to be on the safe side," Miso replied. "There it is!" Keely pointed to a small landing strip next to a beautiful patch of plush palm trees. "Look! No one has landed yet. We're in the lead," Keely added as they began their descent. It was a little bit dusty and windy, but Miso was an expert flyer, so this was no problem, and they soon made a smooth landing at the Oasis checkpoint. Not more than a scratch of time later, the Whisker City Flyers landed. Miso and Keely greeted the Flyers with a big wave of their paws while the plane was being refueled. Just then, the Pima Skycats and the Alley Cats landed together, their planes making a soft thud. So far, everyone had landed except the Gelato Kitties and the Island Cats. Miso and Kili's plane was almost ready for the second half of the race. They ventured into the hangar to grab the second map so they could be on their way. While most of the racers were chatting and laughing, the sneaky alley cats had a naughty idea. They quickly swapped some of the maps, so instead of leading the team straight over the yarn ball rolling hills, the new map would make them go all the way around it. As the teams took off again, none of them knew about the map switch, not even Miso and Kili. After a while, the Gelato Kitties and the Island Cats landed. They looked around, seeing the other teams had already left. Happily, they got their fuel and new maps. All the switched maps were taken, and they managed to find the real maps hidden away in the hangar after a little searching and sniffing. They were in no rush and were just enjoying the race. Feeling so confident that they had secured their victory, the alley cats darted ahead toward the panther-tailed jungle, with their laughter echoing in the wind. But soon their giggles faded as the blue skies turned into thick gray clouds ahead over the jungle canopy below. Thunder rumbled and lightning struck in the distance. Gusty winds swirled and made it hard even for their sleek, silvery plane to stay steady. "Oh no! Why is this happening?" Smokey yelped. "I knew it! This is what we get for swapping the maps," Shadow quickly replied. They grabbed their radio. "Mayday! Mayday! We're stuck in a storm! Help!" The plea echoed, full of desperation. Luckily, Miso and Kili's plane picked up the signal. "We hear you, alley cats. Give us your location. Over." Miso responded. We're making an emergency landing at the end of the jungle right before the Yarnball Hills, the alley cats replied. Miso and Kili were confused. They were so far off course according to the map. But they both knew helping the alley cats was most important. They veered towards the center of the Yarnball rolling hills and spotted the alley cats playing in a small clearing at the edge of the jungle. Landing safely nearby, Miso and Kili rushed over. Are you all right? Miso asked, seeing the drenched alley cats. Kili examined their damaged plane and shook his head. This will take days to fix. The alley cats knew their plan had failed, and they were now out of the race. Fortunately, Miso and Kili were ready and willing to give them a lift across the finish line. Soon they were off once more and headed straight over, instead of around the Yarnball rolling hills. Once they reached the finish line, they were met with a surprising sight. The gelato kitties were waving from the first place spot, and the island cats were cheering from second. Miso and Kili, along with their alley cat passengers, crossed the finish line in third place. They high-fived each other, happy for their accomplishment and even more happy for their first and second place friends. After the Whisker City Flyers and Pima Sky Cats landed, there were whispers of the alley cats' mischief. Feeling guilty, they stepped forward and admitted to swapping the maps. Anya from the Pima Sky Cat said, I'm just glad everyone is safe, while glaring at the alley cats, who shamefully nodded in agreement. Seeing the gelato kitties' faces beam with joy up on the winner's podium melted everyone's hearts. The warm atmosphere at the finish line was infectious. Though there had been twists and turns during the race, the bond between the teams was undeniable. As the gelato kitties were handed their prize, a big basket filled with the yummiest cat treats, they made a grand announcement. We'd like to share these with all of you, they declared. The crowd cheered, and soon all the kitties gathered round, munching on treats, sharing laughs, and recounting the thrilling parts of the race. The day turned into a celebration, with racers and spectators all celebrating the spirit of friendship and togetherness. It was a day to remember, not because of who won or lost, but because of the memories made and the lessons learned. The Whisker City Air Race was about more than just flying. It was about camaraderie, adventure, and the joy of shared experiences. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you'd like to purchase a copy of this book, please check out the author's website in the description below. And for more stories, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and have a lovely day.